Good morning. Our topic for today is Andragogy. For this particular presentation, here are my references. Here are the objectives. At the end of the session, the learner or the participant will be able to first discuss the characteristics of an adult learner. Second, discuss the principles of adult learning. Third, apply the principles of adult learning in teaching learning activities. Allow me first to tell you some stories in Tagalog. So first story. So umuwi si Junior. Sabi niya sa tatay niya, Tay, pinapahanap po sa amin ng teacher namin yung square root of 36. Sagot ng tatay niya, Diba, nagmura pa. Nung panahon ko pinapahanap na sa amin yung square root of 36. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin nahahanap. End of story. Another story. So, meron daw isang lalaki na balisang-balisa, lakad ng lakad, problemado, malapit sa delivery room. So, nilapitan siya nung intern. Sabi nung intern, ano po ang problema? Mukhang balisang-balisa kayo. Sabi naman ng lalaki, kasi po, Dok, manganganak na po ang misis ko. Sagot naman ng intern, sabi niya, abay, dapat ho kayong matuwa. Magiging tatay na kayo. Huwag ho kayong mag-alala. Sabi naman ng lalaki, Dok, kasi po, first time manganganak ng misis ko. Sagot naman ng intern, aba, huwag ho kayong mag-alala. First time ko rin magpapaanak. End of story. Medical students see patients as part of their training, and we do not allow them to be on their own without the necessary training. But how many teachers were asked to deliver a lecture or a presentation without the mock presentation or a practice presentation or even the guidance? Ang sinasabi is, we allow the fish to learn to swim in the ocean, but this strategy can be very dangerous. Think of the first time you delivered your first lecture. Was there guidance from your seniors? May nag-sit-in po ba sa inyo and inupuan yung lecture nyo so that you can have an honest appraisal of your first lecture and improve? Yung teacher ko po sa masteral, sabi niya, yung first lecture niya, she was given the topic, then bahala na siya. So what happened in her first lecture? In a word, tragedy. We don't send soldiers to battle without the necessary battle gear. They should be equipped. Kaya nga po, PASCOM came up with this series. Sharing of the best practices na din. I am connected with UERM, University of the East Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Medical Center Incorporated. And we have a teacher training series there. This is a requirement for new teachers, and this is also a requirement for regularization. Andragogy is one of the sessions. There is a whole morning is devoted to Andragogy. Pagkatapos po ng Andragogy, meron namang topic on the art of lecturing. Then may small group discussions, among others. So I am also connected with La Consolacion University, Philippines, LCUP. Sa LCUP po, we also have a teacher training seminar in the College of Medicine and university-wide. Kasama namin yung mga nasa College of Medicine, kasama namin yung mga teachers in College of Education, College of Business Administration, IT, because all of us the teachers in LCUP are teaching adult learners. So what is andragogy? Simply put, andragogy is the art and science of helping adults learn. This was popularized by Malcolm Knowles. But even before Dr. Knowles, there were already many people working on the principles of andragogy. So according to Knowles, the teacher is no longer the sole source of information, and the teacher is a facilitator of learning. From sage on the stage to a guide on the side. So we are introduced to andragogy because we will teach medical students who are adult learners. And in the course Community Medicine, we teach our third-year students and even clerks or fourth-year students because they will teach in the community. And if they are fortunate enough, they will be teaching the barangay health worker trainees. So andragogy is the art and science of helping adults learn, and learning is a modification of a behavioral tendency by experience. So learning is a change in behavior. So if we deliver a presentation in the community about smoking cessation, so definitely ang audience natin hindi bata. So if a member of the audience smokes, if that member of the audience stops smoking, then there is learning. But if we deliver the lecture on smoking cessation and a smoker is part of the audience and will not stop smoking, then there is no learning. In helping adults learn, we have to consider that they have certain distinct characteristics. So another point I would like to make is that we, being in the medical field, are all lifelong learners. And so we are also adult learners. So here are the characteristics of adult learners. So remember GRAPE. So yung mnemonics po natin, GRAPE. What does G stand for? So remember, we are all adult learners. Kaya ano ba yung characteristic which starts with the letter G? So my students will always say, gorgeous daw. Gorgeous daw sila. So pero dun sa sinasabi ni Knowles, G stands for, ayan, we have a goal and ayan, may compass. So G stands for goal-oriented. Adult learners are goal-oriented. So everything they do is towards achieving that goal. For medical students, their goal is to become a physician. For BHW trainees, their goal is to become BHWs. So everything that they will do will be towards achieving that goal. R is for respect. Adult learners want to be shown respect. So one way of showing our respect when we deliver a presentation is we should start on time and end well within our time allotment. In this way, we are showing our respect to our audience, the adult learners. We are showing our respect to the organizers, and we are showing our respect to the next presenter. So when it comes to BHWs, barangay health workers, one way of showing respect is by treating them as partners. I always tell my students, hindi natin sila utusan, but they are our partners in healthcare. A is for autonomous or independent. If you give the adult learners the material, give the instructions, and they know what they are going to do with the materials. P is for practical. They want to see the application of what they are learning. Kaya nga ngayon, the trend is hindi lang anatomy, but clinical anatomy, clinical biochemistry, so that they actually see the application of what they are learning. E, experience. Adult learners have a wealth of experience, and we can draw from these experiences by connecting them with what we want them to learn. So here again are the characteristics of adult learners. They are goal-oriented. They want to be treated with respect. They are autonomous or independent. They are practical, and they have a wealth of experience. So we're done with the first objective. We move on to the second objective. So an activity for you. Try to recall something that you learned well. This could be an idea, a skill, or an attitude. Please, something wholesome. And describe the conditions in which you learned it. When, where, how, and from whom or with whom did you learn it? Again, something wholesome. And why do you think you learned it well? This is a pre-recorded lecture, so you can recall something at a later time. Or you can have a couple of minutes to try to recall that which you learned well. Here are the theories of Andragogy. Adults are capable of making their own decisions once they have the information they need. It is also important for us to note that as teachers, we should give clear instructions. And they should be able to know exactly how they will be graded. And here is where the rubrics come in, whether medical students or BHW trainees. Adults learn best when learning is focused on them and not the teacher. This is why OBE is very good. So we have an idea of what our graduates will be. And so we design the curriculum in order to achieve that kind of graduate that we want. And as was stated last week, when it comes to community projects, we require the students to participate. And when they process it, some actually really enjoy the community rotation. So learning is focused on them. We will have more of the community experiences to be shared by the other speakers. Here are the principles of Andragogy. First, adults learn best when they understand why something is important to know or do. Second, they learn best when they have the freedom to learn in their own way. Third, adults learn best when learning is experiential. Fourth, they learn best when the time is right for them to learn. And fifth, adults learn best when the process is positive and encouraging. They understand why something is important to know or do. So keep in mind that they are goal-oriented. And we have to explain that this is important for them. Ako, my favorite is this, you need this to become a good physician. So of course, we also tell them that you need this because this will be asked in the boards. This is important because this will be asked in the exams. This will be asked in the clinics. And of course, this will make them a good physician. They have the freedom to learn in their own way. Not all have the same style of studying. That is why a pre-recorded lecture has its merits, one of which is it can be played, the recordings can be played at a time convenient for the adult learners. This is also the reason why we request for a copy of the lectures in webinars so that we can play them at a later date. Learning is experiential. This is precisely the reason why PASCOM is pushing for a face-to-face, a limited face-to-face learning because of actual community encounters, so that the medical students will learn through actual experiences. Learning is experiential. Try to connect with their experiences. At a time like this, with this pandemic, the important thing for us is that we are able to connect to the internet and, more importantly, with the students. Now, how do we do it? By inspiring them. Of course, we include our experiences in the community. So hopefully they will be inspired to bring back something to the community or to serve the community. The time is right for them to learn. That is why before they study surgery, they must first satisfactorily pass anatomy. Why? Because surgery is anatomy in motion. Before we teach them advanced subjects or before they learn advanced topics, they should be able to learn the basics. So normal, 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 and then tsaka na may abnormal. So we have the preclinical studies and then the clinical studies. And finally, adults learn best when the process is positive and encouraging. That is why there is no room for terror teachers. Hindi natin sasabihin na ang dali-dali lang, hindi nyo pa maintindihan. Ang hihina nyo naman. So there is no room for terror teachers because the process should be positive and encouraging. Again, the principles of Andragogy. Adults learn best when they understand why something is important to know or do. Second, they have the freedom to learn in their own way. Third, learning is experiential. Fourth, the time is right for them to learn. And finally, they learn best when the process is positive and encouraging. I am sure you had an experience with this. Delivering a presentation, ito yung kinakausap niyo. Oh, how do you engage them into participation? So it is really a challenge. So you have to have a good connection with the internet and kailangan you have a good connection with the students. One way of connecting with them is through our experiences, especially in the community, and hopefully to inspire them. Ako, I am also struggling with technology. Pero here is some consolation from Bill Gates. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids to work together and motivating them, the teacher is still the most important. So we're done with the first two objectives. We move on to the third. You will be able to apply the principles of adult learning in teaching learning activities. Here are the variety of teaching learning activities, and some of this will be discussed by the next presenters. And as a final note, let me leave you with one of my favorite quotes. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is truly ready, the teacher will disappear. Thank you and good morning.